Okay. All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. This today. So no, yesterday. Previously, we had our lessons, boot camp. All right. So and there was a little bit interruption, and I promised to do a recap of what was taught that day for a better learning and a better understanding. Just also help your of fasting your learning and all of that. All right. So we're going to be covering lists, forms, and inputs. All right. So we have done the list. All right, we talked about lists in depth. All right, so today we're going to be talking about forms and what and inputs. Forms, inputs, and semantic tags. All right, so we're going to dive quickly into today's class. So let's go to VS Code. I have my form opened already. Sorry, I have my VS Code opened already. So I'll just come over to this place. I'll create, let's call it a login. Let's say login form dot ht. All right, no. Let's do something we advance here. Let's follow the syntax. Login form dot html. All right. So login form dot html. All right. By now you should be familiar with all of this. Familiar with this. Alright, so what we're going to do here, I'm not going to waste much of our time. Alright, so I don't want this tutorial to actually take time. I don't want it to take time. So I'll just come over to this place. I'll just give it alright, so let's have a good working space. Okay, now I told you guys about form and what form is used for. All right, I told you guys about that. Let's go back to this. I think this was the one we created. Okay, all right, so I said form is what we use to collect informations from what our users. All right, form is what we use to collect information from our users. So now we're going to be creating a login form. All right, now I've actually showed you guys all the processes you need to follow. H2, so let us call this user registration form. All right, so then we now have in our form tag. All right, so if you're confused here, just okay. Now let's give this action. Let's give this action. Let's give this action rather. Let's give the action of slash submit. Alright, so let's give it action of submit. So we don't have any submit form here, any submit button here. I mean any submit folder here. But let's just assume let us assume that. All right, so because the earlier you understand this, the better for you. All right, so let's have a method. Never to worry yourself too much. Don't feel like you need to memorize all of this now. This aspect of let's post this aspect of submit and method. So when we get to the back end, you will understand all of this. All right, so okay, So I'm not showing you how to create a very professional looking form. We have talked about the basics. We have talked about the basics here a couple of days ago. So these are the basics. These are the basics. All right. So, but we want to go in depth or want to do something more professional here. All right. So let's come over to this place. Then we'll have. Let's have our text inputs. All right. You know what this is. Text inputs. All right. So. I told you I prefer using label to write my stuff, right? So let's call this full name. All right, so it's full name. Now let's create the inputs tag for it. Text. All right, so now for this thing to be connected together, we don't want to be using example. Let me show you something. Like I said, we're going to be creating a very real-time professional. There's my file, my folder. Okay. So let me go back to my file manager. All right. Go back to my file manager. We have some fix. Sorry, now next class I'll show you how to open your VS Code from your terminal. All right. So let's open this. Okay. This is fine. This is what we'll be working with. This is what we'll be working with. Now I want this form to be like when I click, I want this one when I click here, this place should be open for me. I don't have to start tapping this place. I don't want to start tapping this place before my phone will be opened. So I just want when I click on this, my form should do what? This stuff I should just type in here and I'll start putting my information. Alright, so that's what we're trying to achieve here, and this is how we do it. Let's learn how to connect this together, because you'll be needing this when we get to back end, where you'll be getting elements by its ID, not JavaScript, when you want to process or authenticate some informations, some HTML elements to the back end for authentications. You'll be needing this a whole lot. Alright, so what we're going to do here next, we're going to give this an ID. Alright, it's going to give it an ID. Alright, ID is going to have full name. Please, this ID should correspond with what you're having for this form. Whatever information you put here should be the same here. If not, you're going to run into a whole lot of errors. Not like you're going to run into a whole lot of errors. Your code will not just work the way you want it to be. Alright, so you're going to have the same thing there. Trying to write a code like a professional here, so we'll give it a name. So this name is going to carry full name. All right, so it's going to carry full name, and we'll now give it a placeholder. Remember, whatever that goes inside your opening tag is an what? Is an attribute. All right, so what we're going to do here, we'll say enter your full name. All right, so now let's make this to be what's required. Let's make this to be required. Okay. Then we'll save. So let us quickly check this. All right, so as you can see, when I tap here, I can start typing. Oh, sorry. Because of the submit button. Okay, let me just go and clear this all out. Okay, let me take this out. Let me take this out. All right. So, okay. No, 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 no. Let me just take this out. All right. So, uh, the thing actually submitted, and this thing did not go anywhere. It didn't take us to anywhere, right? Because we have not created that. So I just type in this full name, and I can now put in my information, right? Without me having to start coming in. Now remember, we are supposed to come here and type, right? But with what we just did, I can just type in this full name here, and here will open up for us. Okay. So is that taken? Yes. Now let's go back to our code. So come over to this place. BR. BR. Alright, so let's now have the email. So we're gonna practically do or literally do what we did the first time. Alright, so go with label. Alright, so this label we're gonna give it an ID of 4. Alright, so give it email. Sorry, this should be in cap. Alright, so I'm just trying to make sure this video does not exceed the normal time it's supposed to, because we already have an hour plus video on the YouTube channel which you have to watch. Alright, so I don't want this to be like that. So you just have to be very fast. You're always welcome to ask questions. Address. Alright, so now we'll come down now to the inputs. So let us go down and look for, we have a whole lot here. I told you guys can just go through all of this. So now have the input of email. Alright, so we'll have the ID, email. Alright, so we'll now go for the placeholder. Alright, so we'll give it to us email address. Okay, we'll give it example. Let's give them example of what is needed. Example at Gmail. Alright, so this is what will be displayed to the user. So let's try to make this what required. Let's make it required. Alright, so there's no need checking it out. Let us get done, then we can do that later on. Alright, so save time. Alright, so the next one is going to be the password. Password input. Alright, so this is what we're going to do next. Password input. So let me slash this, then we'll comment it out. Alright, so let's have a space here. Same. Also, let's have a space here. Yeah. Alright, so now we're going to do the same thing over and over and over again. Alright, so let's use this PWD password. Alright. Alright, let's say choose the password. Don't worry, let us do password. Okay. Then let's come in here. Let's do the inputs. So you can literally type this, but we're doing this as a beginner. Alright, so let's come in here. Let's choose password. So we can call this PWD. Remember, you have to correspond with what you're having there. Alright, so PWD. Alright, so So have pwd. All right, so now let's have our placeholder. Placeholder. Just password. All right, so let's make this to be what? To be required. Let's make it to be required. All right, so if you don't know what we're doing here, you can just go back to the previous video where we actually showed you the process of how to input this and all of that. If you didn't watch this video, if you didn't go through this route here, you might not be able to understand what we are doing here. All right, you will not understand what we are doing here. You have to go through this, all right, digest all of this for you to be able to do what? To understand what we are actually doing here. All right, so I'll just copy this. No, that's, I'll copy the both. I'll just copy the both of them. Let's copy the both of them. All right, so come over to this place and I'll paste it. So what we're going to do here now, we'll just change, let's call this cpd. That is here is confirm password. All right, so let us do this, confirm password. All right, so we'll come here, we'll do cpd, that's confirm password. We'll see here, then we'll also do what? We'll put C, then we'll put what we'll put here is okay, confirm. All right. Yeah, we're progressing. So don't forget to drop your question on the comment section if you actually have any problem or you run into errors. All right, don't forget to drop your questions. I will be glad to answer you or to attend to all your questions as much as I can. All right, so let's go to the number inputs. Number inputs. All right, so let's comment this out. All I did was also a light, then control backslash comment, or you can literally do that yourself. Type it manually. You can do it yourself, typing it manually. All right, so that's the same thing. Okay, that's it. Okay, so we move. Now we'll be having the label. So label for, what is it for? What are we going to give it now? Okay, let's give it a label of age. All right, let's call it age. Oh, okay, let's call it age. And I also have phone number also. Okay. All right. A minute, please. All right. Sorry, I had to attend to something very urgent. Okay. So we're going to go with age. All right. So let's call it age. Disregard this parameter arguments. All right, because I write a whole lot of Django. Sorry, not Django. Not JS and native React. So it's always bringing out JavaScript auto completion for me. All right. So what we're gonna do next? Then we can try to do this here. All right, so then have our inputs. Then we're going to search for number. Search a number. All right, so this is it. So we'll call this age. Same as literally what you've been doing since. That's what you continue doing. All right. Call it this age. Then have our placeholder. All right. So before that, let's do something minimum. Let's give it a minimum of one. All right, a minimum of one, and a maximum of what? Let's give it a maximum of 100. Maximum. So the user can literally choose from 1 to what? To 100. So let's make this to be what? Required. All right. So you can just go back to all of these places and put your BR. All right. So you can come here, put your BR. All right. Then you come to this place also, BR. All right. So you come to this place, BR. Same also, right? So you have your BR. Just kind. Excuse me, a minute, please. A minute, please. Let me pause this. All right. So we are actually having age. So this is what you're going to do, try. So what we're going to let this thing means the requirements, the minimum is 1, then the maximum is what? 100. So this is a whole lot of functions, all right? We're writing a function. Okay. All right, so we'll come over again. We'll have next we're going to have is the radio. That's the radio. Radio buttons. Okay. Radio buttons and so this is going to be a whole lot of different. So what we're going to put in here is let's say gender. Let's put something like gender here. Let's put something like gender. We're going to run the code. Let's get done. We're going to run the code. So this time we're going to put in, we're going to use the inputs radio, the inputs radio. That's what we're going to be using here. Checkbox to check the radio box to know if you're actually a male or what, or a female. All right, so this is going to take the same perimeter. So you're going to have male. Let's have male first. Let's have male first, then have another male. All right, then I'll give it a name. So give it male also. Then this one I'm going to give it a value. Alright, so the value is also going to be what? Male. Then we'll make it to be what? To be required. Alright, so make it to be required. So next is going to be the female. It's going to be female. But for them, let's show in our label, sorry. What we have here is what we're going to have here. It's still the same thing as ID, same thing as name, same thing as value. So it will be all what? Be connected. You need to understand how this works, else you're going to run into a whole lot of errors when you're working with a server side. Okay. Yeah. So let's have our VR. So we're going to do the same thing here, but this time we're going to give it what? Female. writing code and reusing it. You'll come across this a whole lot when you're dealing with the server side, when you will have to write one code and reuse it. Models. Then we'll just come into that label and just come into the label and put in female is gonna be female, right? Yeah. Okay. So actually done with that. Then we're gonna put in order. Like when we have male, female, and order. No, yeah, no, I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian, so we don't have room for that. But when you're building a professional website, you're gonna put in orders because you don't know how other people feels. You don't decide for them and all of that. But for now, we're just doing practicals, all right. You're gonna put in order, the same thing like the same thing you did in male, you did the same thing in female. That's what you're gonna do in order. So, but I'm not gonna put in that. No, I'm not gonna do that. All right. VR. Okay. So next is check boxes. Next is check boxes. Next, let's select our hobbies. Let's get the hobbies of users. All right. Check boxes. So, alright, so I'm just being a little bit fast. So I'm just trying to go in depth so you understand how all of this works. So have our P tag, have select your hobby. There is another pattern I want to show you. Select, another type of select like this here, like that. Select hobbies, select your hobby, sorry, select your hobbies, yeah. So we're going to throw in the checkbox. We're going to throw in checkbox here, so you can use this. They are almost the same thing, alright? Almost the same thing. Almost the same thing. But instead of we copying this, let us do it from scratch. So we're going to have our input, but this time it's going to be checkbox, not radio. So you're going to see the difference. You see the difference. Checkbox, checkbox. Alright, here is it. So this checkbox, I'm gonna give it an idea of music. An idea of music. And this is gonna give you what? Idea of what? I'm gonna give it hobbies. Alright. Hobbies. Then give it the value of music. Alright. So we'll have our label. We're gonna give it what? Music. Okay. Music. All right. So let's have a VR. So this is literally what we're doing here. So let's paste. All right. So just change this music to sports. All right. Change this to sports. All right, then here is going to be what? Sports. Then have our sports here. Yeah, our sports. All right, so Let's press it one more time. Then here is going to be what I want to do here. Reading. Okay, let's see reading. Dancing. All right. So I love dancing a lot. So the dancing. I love dancing. Dancing. And then come over to this place. Dancing. Dancing and yeah, dancing. Okay. Boy, oh boy. So what one are we looking up to again? Then lastly, let's talk about drop down menu. Drop down menu. Alright, so drop down menu. When you click on something, you see things that fall there. Alright, so I'm not connected to the internet. As I'll be showing you that, but subsequently, when we check, you see what is drop down menu and the essence of it. Alright, so come over to this place to do drop down menu. Alright. So usually I'm going to comment this out. So here we're going to have a drop down menu of countries. So we can give this a label. I love this label a lot. I love working with label. Code stuff makes codes to be easier, alright? Okay. So we're gonna give this, choose your what? Your country. Choose your country. So we're gonna have this case is gonna look different to what we have here. All right, it's gonna look different. Okay, let me just save this. Let's save this and run it. All right, so let's refresh. Okay, this is what we've been doing so far. Confirm password, email address, full name, gender. All right. So this thing now, you can see you can click the both of them, but one thing that you can't click the both of them. All right, don't worry. Let us finish up so we'll see what we do. We are here. There's our code. Let's push this to the side. All right, so come over to this place. So we'll have our select. All right. So then have our select, have our ID, the name. The name is going to be country as usual. Sorry, this should be. Some guys an error somewhere. All right. This is country and it's supposed to be sorry. Have ID of country. ID of country. They'll have a name. Sorry, we'll have a required. We'll have a name here already. Okay. So we're gonna put in the option. So this option, I'll just leave it blank. I will do something like selected. All right. So what this selected is gonna do is gonna select this by default. This option 1 is gonna select it by default. Or let us take this out. Let's do Nigeria selected by default. All right. Let's make Nigeria selected by default. So here it's gonna take in a value of select your country. Select your country. select your country. Sorry. So we're gonna have now we're gonna have option. We're gonna have an option here. Option value of ng. All right, ng is what Nigeria. So we're gonna make Nigeria to be selected by default. Selected. All right. So we're gonna make Nigeria to be selected by default. So we're gonna put in Nigeria. Nigeria. All right. So let us copy this. Interesting. So we're gonna keep selecting. I'm gonna keep pasting. All right, let us work with this. All right, so this is Nigeria. So next is gonna be US. Let's give this US. Oh, Nigeria selected by default. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to do all of this. Once it's selected, you copy all of them once, but that will be when we get to CSS. Alright, so I'm going to be doing a whole lot of soft works. So it's good you lay hands on this so you don't be lazy as a programmer. Alright. Then this is okay, this is Nigeria. This is the first one is United States. Okay. GH Ghana. Let's do SA South Africa. And do South Africa. South Africa. South Africa. South Africa. Alright, so you can just complete the rest yourself. Just complete the rest yourself. Alright, so don't waste much time. So the norm share, this is form. Before we go ahead, alright, so let us round up before any other thing. So we are done with this. Alright, so let's come over to this place. Okay, so we don't get confused along the line. So don't get confused. Let's have text. Let's have our test area. Text. So I'm just taking my time to show you all of this text area. Alright, so this is how it looks like. Let's have our label again. We will have to come in. So you can see everything we'll be doing here, we actually added what? Label. There's another way you can do this, but I just showed you this the breast. To me, I love using label a lot. Okay, this way has the user to put in additional information or additional message. All right. Okay, let's just use additional words message. I think this strong. Instead of using additional information or add additional information, that English looks so wrong, sounds so wrong, sorry. So let's now do the text area. All right, so our text area, rows and columns. All right, so this is quite different from others you've been seeing. So give it normal the message, same here, message. All right, so we'll come over to the rows and columns. Let's give it 4 rows and 40 columns. All right, 4. All right, so this is gonna give it a placeholder here, a placeholder of write something or tell us something. Okay. Okay, so come over to this place. Let's have our BR. Then let's have our submit button. Submit. Alright, so let's have our submit button. Okay. So let's have inputs. So we're gonna have inputs type, submit. Let's look for input type. We have a whole lot of inputs. You can just check it out yourself. Alright, so have input submit. Value is gonna be submit from. Alright, submit form. Alright, so let's come over to this place and do something like login dot php. Alright, so let's do something dot php. So let's call this login dot php here. This is not going to do anything right really, but it just for it to know that our form actually needs to go to somewhere and something needs to process the form. So where is our form? All right, so let's give it an action now. Action. Let's give it an action. So it's okay, so let us call it like that. All right, so let's go back to our test, our code rather. So I'll refresh. As you can see, we actually choose Nigeria as default. So anything here, once you click on this was supposed to show. This was supposed to show originally, but for the fact that we gave Nigeria as default, so choose Nigeria as default, it's going to bring out Nigeria. When you reload this page, it will bring out Nigeria. Let's go and change that Nigeria from default. Where did we actually save that? Nigeria, no for guy, Nigeria for guy. Okay, let us remove this. All right, so let's save. You see, Nigeria is no longer be selected as default. All right, so it's showing you select country, so you have to input Nigeria. All right, so when you refresh, it's showing you nothing. But let's go back and Ctrl Z, save. Come over to this place, we reload. you can see Nigeria is there as default. All right, so you can also do same here. You can also do same here, do here, here. All right, you can do all of that. Just choose one to be default, choose one to be default selected as default, and all of that. So you can click on this submit. We will submit this button now. When we submit this, it's going to take us where to that index or the login.php that will not process our form, but nothing has been created there actually. Oh, okay, it's asking us to fill out this form. Wow, wow, wow. Yes, that's why we use this required. That's the essence of this required. Where is it? Is it required? All this required here. You have to fill in those forms, all right, before you could go ahead. All right, so let's do this. Do this. See that from 1 to what? Give a minimum. Okay, let's do something like, okay, gender, I'm a male. Then music, I love music, I love dancing. All right, so this is my country. Or no, let me choose US, United States. Yeah, I'll put all of this, then submit. Okay, sending us, it must be at Gmail. Wow, that's fine. So put something else. Let's do something at Gmail. So something at gmail.com. All right, so let's hit submit. Select one option. Okay, sending us to select the both. So it actually took us towards login.php, but nothing is actually here. Here is where the whole thing will not take us to, is to authenticate and tell us login successfully, then it will not open a portal. But we have not done that because this is what just the front end. All right, so this is how you now create your what? This is how you create your form. Okay, so let's quickly talk about semantic tags. All right, before we can now call it a day. Yeah, let's talk about semantic tags. Semantic tags. So what are semantic tags? So if you're having any problem here, you can just feel free to write me. I'm going to respond to that. All right, respond to your messages or drop on a comment. So let's go back to our code. I think we are done with this. All right, so we are done with this. If you're having any challenge or any question, please don't forget, feel free to send write me on WhatsApp, ask questions, and we'll see how we can attend to all of that. All right, so let's go to semantic tags. Let's give this semantic. That's HTML. Oh, this is supposed to be Python, not PHP. Sorry, we are not doing PHP. Rather, we are doing Python. That's Py. Alright, so we are doing Python, not PHP. All right, so now what is semantic tags? Okay, do you know what? Let me just cut this video. Let me end the video here. All right, let me end this video, then I will now start with semantic tags. Let me end this video.